Hello, everybody. This is Demetrius Curry coming to you with Financially Fit Fridays here. We are so excited to have none other than Mr. Kenny Anderson here with us today. Let me tell you, if you haven't had the opportunity to be here with us with Financially Fit Friday before, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've actually been working with Financially Fit Fridays for a couple years now, but we decided to bring it back for a second season because financial literacy is such a big deal right now. There's so many things that's going on in this industry, and we need guidance to come in and experts to come in to meet you where you are, right? To meet you where you are. And one of the key experts that I had the opportunity to work with for a couple years now is Mr. Kenny Anderson. And one thing I know for sure, if you ever want to sit down with someone with a vast variety of wisdom in so many different areas, I enjoy working with this man right here. Okay. Let me tell you, he is the host of one of the amazing radio shows here, The Power of Second Chances. And with over 30 years in that industry, oh my goodness, you would not believe how he has impacted the community. He has an array of experience in mental health and financial success. And so I'm just honored that we had the opportunity to bring him here with us today. I want to bring him on and let's just jump into it. How about that? Mr. Kenny Anderson, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Demetrius. How are you doing?
I am well. Oh my God. I feel like royalty. I have the opportunity to be with you today.
Oh, wow. No, I feel like I'm in the midst of royalty just because of the generous invitation that you've extended to me.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate you taking out the time to be here with us. And so let's just jump on in.
Yeah.
Let's jump on in. You've been in this industry of financial literacy in so many areas, but let's start off with something simple. If you've spent over about 4 decades or so helping people, rebuilding their lives and unlocking potential, what do you say to that person that's watching right now that think maybe they've missed the opportunity to have better, to build their lives, to build their financial lives and their professional lives? What do you say to them?
I would start with it's never too late. I think that the whole notion of where we start has little to do with where we end. And the idea that we can at any moment in our life choose to make decisions about things that are happening in our lives in order to make something better for ourselves.
Mm,
Give you the example of education. I'm so inspired whenever I see these stories about people graduating from college at 60, 70, and 80 years old. It's never too late. I'm so inspired when I read stories about people like Colonel Sanders, for example, who started Kentucky Fried Chicken, very advanced in age, an industry that people really love and support, started late in life. So if you want to start a business, it's never too late. Most things in our lives, even let me do this one too, relationships. A lot of people think there's a deadline on when something should happen in terms of relationships. And what someone should always know is that it's never too late. If you have a relationship, for example, and you say for some unfortunate circumstance, you lose your spouse in that marriage or that partnership, it's never too late to start over again if that's what you choose to do. So that would be my message. It's never too late. Start from where you are and then finish strong.
I love that. I love that. And that's so true because we all have a different starting point, right? And
Yes.
sometimes life in between all of that sort of like, hey, it gears you in different directions, but it's never too late to start where you really want to go. I love
Yes.
that. I love that. In this arena right now, with all the changes in what's going on economically, right? There's so many changes, there's so many adjustments to, the cost of living and things of this nature. Mental health is becoming one of the areas that we see a big concern in, and trying to maintain that mental health and still trying to build, right? It's one of the biggest conversations going on right now. So with the amount of years in your counseling, I mean, you have been an amazing counseling and a community leader for so many years. What do you say is the connection between the emotional wellness and financial success?
Oh my goodness. We often talk about things like a wealth mindset versus a poverty mindset. So I think one of the things that we always have to establish when we start thinking about wealth and whatever we define that as, and when we start talking about things like generational wealth and transferring that from one generation to the next, all of that begins with our mind. It begins with what we're thinking about as it relates to those kinds of things. And so the connection to me is this, that we have to understand that money has value. And as one of my favorite motivational speakers often says, Les Brown, that money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. That it's something, you know what I'm saying? We got to respect it for what it is. Yeah, the word of God says the love of money is the root of all evil. Got it. Now, pay your rent, get your mortgage, buy your home, be able to afford grocery and gas and other kinds of things that you're going to need in order to be able to sustain life, send your kids to college, et cetera, et cetera. So money has value, and we got to understand that. And I think that connection again begins with how we look at money. How do we see money? Do we
Mhm.
see money as something that in the moment we're just going to burn it up and use it for what it is because tomorrow may never come? Or are we going to start thinking about, in terms of our mindset, that life ends, but it doesn't end today? That
Wow.
once we get to the end of the road, we want to plan for transition, even though I won't be here, but I want a plan for transition to not leave the next generation with debt, but leave them with a measure of wealth and
Mhm.
sustainability and stability in order to be able
Mhm.
to carry that forward. So, the bottom line for me is this again. There are a lot of bottom lines here for me, but one of the other bottom lines for me is that if a person doesn't have the ability to economically create balance and harmony in their life is going to be off kilter. In
Mm.
fact, the choice that some people make as a result of not having means is that they resort to methods that are perhaps illegal or criminal as a consequence of that. For other people, it
Mm.
creates an overwhelming sense of depression and a burden in life as a consequence of that. And so when we manage our finances in a way that honors what we have as responsibilities in our lives and establish a position of accountability to those things, then we have a
Mm.
better relationship with money as a consequence of that.
Oh, goodness. Oh, you just hit it hard, Kenny. You just hit it so hard. That is, woo, yes, that's serious right there. That's
Yeah.
serious. That's serious. Let's talk about your show. You know, the power of second chances. I love the title.
Mm.
I love second chance. I
Hmm.
love the second chance. And it's just amazing. And you're talking about, setbacks, comebacks,
Mm.
fear of failure and all of those. You really just touched on all of that just then. But oh my goodness, that is amazing. This show has been impacting the community and changing lives for so long. I want to give you commend you on that for just taking the time to feed into the hearts and souls of many that are trying to change the game.
Listen, I give all credit to first I'll give all credit to God, clearly, but I give all credit to my good friend David Person, who at the time was the station manager at what was then WOCG, it's WJLU today at Oakwood University. I
Mhm.
was once upon a time I was a young mental health professional, interested in helping people, supporting people, and perhaps even saving the world. You have these real big, broad ambitions about life. And David, with his role as a station manager and my experience in counseling, came together to craft a dialogue, a program that would be designed to help people confront challenges in life. And hence, Second Chance was born. That's the number 2 ND chance. And that is the figurative and literal second chance that God gives us. You can fall down, but you have to try to get up. Sometimes getting up is not easy, but sometimes getting up is the result of other people around you who recognize your need and they want to come alongside you and support you. Sometimes it is a self-supportive process where you defy the toxic situations in your life and the voices and the environment and that tape that's constantly running in some people's minds about what they cannot do, and people who stand in their way and block their blessings. As a
Mm,
consequence of that, we can push forward. And that's what the program's been all about. 35 and a half years, we have been promoting a message that is positive. And my platform is designed to contradict all of the negative voices in broadcasting today that are talking about what's wrong and who's not right and who hates who and who's going through this difficult, disturbing kind of experience. We take the story even further. We may talk about the challenge that somebody faces, but we always offer hope and solutions because we believe that that is on the other side of adversity and challenge, and that people who put themselves in an environment create an opportunity to grow beyond their pain, to grow beyond their adversity, and to really embrace success in life. So that second chance is like it happens over and over and over again. We may fail at work, we may fail in education, we may fail in relationships, we may fail in our relationship with God, but over and over again, we can embrace the opportunity to have a second chance at life in
mm.
order to move forward in that process. So I'm just grateful that I've had the opportunity for so long to have a voice in that space. We've grown. It's now a national broadcast and an international broadcast because we're online each week at WJLU.org. We're live streaming on Praise 90.1 FM on YouTube and Facebook every single week. And so we're just blessed to be able to have the platform that we have and to reach as many people as we do.
So I received that in the name. Listen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just spoke into my life. You're like, I receive it. Listen, I don't know what everybody else is thinking when you said that. I said, I think he's speaking to me. He's talking to me right now. He talking. Just thank you for speaking all that. I receives it. I receives it right now. Yes, I do. Yeah, that's just such a blessing. That's such a blessing, and you are truly a blessing to the community in so many different ways. We're talking about building generational impact, and how do we do it? How do we reach the community? How do we get it into the soul of the people? Because this is just one of the things that it's one of those topics that people just don't like to talk about leaving things, leaving legacies, being able to not just say, okay, I'm good, you find your way, I found my way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do we do that and say, you know what, we're willing to step outside of our norm, and we wanted to learn the financial literacy. We want to be a part of the community and making sure that our families don't start over, you know what I mean? Starting all the way fresh. Because one of the things that I've learned, Kenny, in this whole area is that when you take away traditions of the family, and when
Mm.
you take away communication, and then you take away their ability to know how to pass things down, those next generations that come in line, they start from ground zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do is to make sure that doesn't happen in our era, right? While we're trying to do that, you have done something where you've established multiple scholarships across several universities, and I've seen that, and I see you working. I'm inspired by you. You keep me going, and you're focusing on education and legacy giving. What advice do we have for the professionals who want to build generational impact but don't have the income to do so?
I will start right with me. I was not the person who could write a 10,000 or 25,000 or 50,000, $100,000 check. So let's start right here. I love that question for this reason because that is me. That's exactly what happened. I'm the kind of person who I'll look around and I'll say, what is the real value of something? So for my life, as I was aging, and this is going back now all the way back to 2009, as I'm aging, I'm thinking about the idea that, life is finite. Life does come to an end. I'm okay with that. But will my living have mattered to someone? And I
Mhm.
started thinking about the areas of my life that have had the most profound impact on that legacy building. And it was education. My parents made tremendous sacrifices for me to come to Huntsville from New York City to attend Oakwood. We lived in public housing. We were not wealthy people. We didn't have it was a struggle. It was something that we got by on. We weren't sitting around, wanting, but it was like we didn't have excess stuff to be able to lay back and grab and move forward and that type of thing. So I just started thinking about all the great things my parents did for me, and the fact that I now have two earned degrees, some doctoral studies behind my belt. And it's the idea that, wow, what an amazing journey. Here I am at Calhoun Community College at the time, working as the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences. He's a young kid, came from the Lower East Side of Manhattan, public housing, is now the Dean of the largest community college in the state of Alabama, or a Dean. And I was one of four deans in that particular space. And I wanted to start doing something for students at the 2-year level because I saw the excellence in their students. I saw their grind. I saw their commitment. I saw the investment that they were making. I saw them overcoming certain things. And so the first scholarship I established was in my parents' name. It's the Second Chance Jack and Annie Anderson Scholarship that honors their legacy. And it is fully endowed at Calhoun. Multiple students have gone to school in that scholarship. I then started thinking about Oakwood. Oakwood was the place that gave me my first career in psychology. And so I moved that scholarship forward. That scholarship is now fully funded. It's the 212 Community Service Scholarship, because people who know me know I'm very passionate about community service. And it combines going to school with community service for students. My third scholarship was motivated by the 3 years that my mother-in-law lived with my wife and I, and we were her primary caregivers before she passed. And we had such a wonderful and powerful transformational experience. Learned that when she passed, she went to A&M for a short period of time, wanted to major in social work, but could not finish. And for the last 10 years in the city of Huntsville, I had worked with social work students at Alabama A&M. And I said, boy, what an incredible way to honor her memory and the legacy that comes behind her. And so now there's a scholarship at A&M named in her name, the Mother Ernestine Fletcher Tibbs Memorial Scholarship, that benefits social work students. Last July, I launched a second scholarship at Oakwood in honor of the transition of the presidency. And it's the Gina Spivey Brown Excellence Fund. And there's a new scholarship there. So I have 2 scholarships at Oakwood now, and a 5th scholarship that I've endowed now, or am endowing, at Drake State Community and Technical College, that I just launched in January. So I have 5 academic scholarships. 3 are fully endowed. 2 are on the journey of becoming endowed. And I could not be happier to know that, for generations to come, long after I'm gone, people won't even know my name necessarily, because my name is not on any of those scholarships. That's my humility. I don't need to have my name in lights. I just need to know that I did what was right while I lived, and that is to invest in the future of people who are going after higher education.
Oh boy, look at you. Listen. Now, Kenny, we go way back. I'm trying to be professional here, but you know how silly we can get behind the scenes.
It's all good.
Man, that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. It's like touching lives and they don't even know where the source is coming from. I think I heard there was another gentleman that said Chadwick Boseman. He said many years ago that he got a scholarship with Denzel Washington in college. Yep. And Denzel had no idea who he was, right? But at that time he applied, and it tells you how impactful you can be by just doing what God told you to do, whether your name is on it or not on it, or things of that nature. But you're helping generations and generations. I can imagine how many generations you've helped so far, and it's phenomenal. It's been a big number. So Drake University, Oakwood University, Alabama A&M, and that's probably not where it's going to end. You're probably going on, and you got some more going as well. But that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's it's a blessing. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's a blessing indeed. And, just to kind of contextualize this, I want to say one additional thing, because an endowed scholarship begins right around $25,000. That's the initial investment. And then that money is invested and students go to school on the interest. So that makes it a perpetual scholarship for years and years and years. I continue to grow the ones that are already endowed, which means I continue to make contributions to those, but I also have invited people over the years to make contributions to those as well. And so there are a lot of people out there, too many to name right now. I need a list because there's so many people who have invested in that journey. And I'm so grateful to them that they align with me on my vision to make this possible. And so it is absolutely amazing to see this thing happening.
And that's part of it, the literacy of it all, of giving back, of helping correct the mindset of those that think they can't have, or they
That's
can't start over, or they don't have second chances.
yeah.
And all of that is part of the financial literacy, platform. All of
Yeah.
that is part of it. And you have done something that, we all would love to pull together to do. And I'm so encouraged and honored to be a friend, to be a colleague, to be associated with you, and other things that we do together. So I give you your flowers while you're here. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And one of the things that I'm excited about right now is that we have some other things that's coming up. And I want to make sure that if people want to contribute to those scholarships, or they want to contribute to what you're doing, how do they do that?
Yeah, each of the colleges have on their websites a page that's like their advancement and development page or scholarship page. If you go to the anm.edu giving page, you'll do have a drop down box. You'll see the Mother Ernestine Fletcher Tibb Scholarship and why it's there. Oakwood University, the same thing. You would see that scholarship, the 212 Community Service Scholarship. Calhoun Community College, same thing. If you go to their scholarships page, the Jack and Annie Anderson Second Chance Scholarship, you would see it. So typically it's on those pages. You can make, tax deductible donations that I don't ever have to know about. They give me an annual accounting for what's happening. I'm excited to see all of those growing. And as I said, I make my own investment in those spaces as well. And it's just a great thing to be able to do. So if people want to do that, that's great. And again, Drake State, that one's just starting out. So that's probably something somebody would just want to talk to me about, how to make a donation. And also the one at Oakwood, again, the second one at Oakwood, they may want to talk to me about that one as well, because those are still being endowed right now.
Wow. Wow. I love it. I love it. Listen, we learned a lot today. Did we learn a lot today?
Yes.
Kenny, you brought everything. I don't know what to say. This is, I'm not really speechless much, but I'm speechless today because like you've brought so much about the mental health of it all. How that relates to financial literacy, getting your finances in order, passing things down from generation to generation. How important that is. Standing in the gap for others, creating scholarships for those that don't even know that they will have the ability to reap the rewards of your seeds. They're getting a part of that harvest just from your seeds. And just being in the community and bringing that to them over 35 years in your radio show. And I'm like, wow, he is doing so much. You're supposed to be retired. You're not retired, Kenny. You said you were retiring, and I don't see it. You're still moving and grinding and, helping people understand what's going on in their finances and in their mental space. And I mean, what you doing next?
Wow. Yeah, it's big stuff coming for sure. I am a business and management consultant. And so I pick up little opportunities from time to time. And I got some really exciting things happening in that space. Of course, I'm really excited about the growth of the radio show because we're reaching so many more people because we have the capabilities of StreamYard now to be able to reach out to anybody and anywhere in the world and talk to anybody who we need to talk to. And so that's really exciting in that space. And as far as retirement is concerned, I always tell people who say, you're still moving. I'm moving at my own speed. I'm moving at my own pace. I'm moving based on what I choose to do and not do. And that is the beautiful thing. So, for example, this week I've been out of the house twice, and that's literal. I've been out twice this week. Next week, you may see me a lot. But that's not how that used to go. It used to be just as one continuous thing. Sunday through Saturday, Kenny was everywhere doing everything all the time. That's not what's happening now. I'm doing what I want to do on my own terms, at my own pace, and I could not be happy and feel more blessed to be in the space of saying that I have my health, I have a good mind, I have the capacity to still want to give and to help and support. And as long as I have those abilities, I will be around.
Hello. I love it. I love it. And I'm here for it. How about that? I'm here to see what's coming up next.
Keep your eyes open.
I'm gonna keep my eyes open. I'm gonna keep my eyes open, and I thank you so much for being here with us today. You brought so much to this conversation, so I'm honored. I applaud you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for your blessings that you have poured those into other people. So I really appreciate all that you've done here with us today. Oh my goodness! Listen, we're gonna also put in all your information on this post right here so they can know how to get in contact with you. Also, all of your information on your YouTubes and your radio show. We'll put those links into our comments so they can make sure they are connecting with you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you again for this invitation. This has been a lot of fun.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Oh my goodness. Listen, guys, listen. I don't know what else you can get out of this conversation with Mr. Kenny Anderson. Let me tell you, he has just brought it all with us. This brings together so much in what you're probably trying to do in your finances and your professional life. And how do you pull it all together? So how do you do that? You work with a business development person that can tell you some things to look out for. And he did that today. Go back, listen to this replay. If you missed anything, make sure you like and share this video with those that you love and that you appreciate. And so they can also be on the exact same wavelength of getting better financially fit in everything they want to do in their financial future. I'm so excited that you guys joined us today. Once again, this is Demetrius Curry with another Financially Fit Fridays. Make sure you please like and share. We will see you next time.